Hey guys, Ketan again. Today we're solving another problem from the beginner level of CodeChef in C++. So the problem we are solving is the block game, and the problem code is PALL01. Okay. The citizens of Byteland regularly play a game. They have blocks each denoting some integers from 0 to 9. These are arranged together in a random manner without seeing to form different numbers, keeping in mind that the first block is never a 0. Once they form a number, they read in the reverse order to check if the number and its reverse is the same. If both are same, then the player wins. We call such numbers palindromes. Ash happens to see this game and wants to simulate the same in the computer. As the first step, he wants to take an input from the user and check if the number is palindrome and declare if the user wins or not. Okay. So this is very simple. We just have to find out if a given integer is a palindrome or not. What is a palindrome? A palindrome is, okay, let's say this number. What is the reverse of this number? It's 133, right? 331 is the correct direction and 133 is the reverse direction, right? If the correct direction and the reverse direction both are equal, then we call it as a palindrome. Not just for numbers, even for strings. Let's say we have sauce, or not. Let's say we have the word SOS, sauce. Okay. When we reverse it, it will still spell out sauce, right? The spelling won't change. So it's correct order and the reverse order both are same. So that is also a palindrome. Okay. Those are basically what palindromes are. So to solve this, we could use strings, or we could get each integer once at a time and put it in an array and use two pointers, one from the starting and one from the reverse, and check if uh, both are always equal, right? So that's one way. So let's do the string method, because I have used the reminder method a lot of times in a couple of other problems. So let me use the string method to solve it, so that you guys can also see how string handling works. Okay. So for this, first we have to convert the integer into a string, right? This is just test cases code, don't have to worry about that. Now we take the number, let's say an integer n, right? We take in cn into n. Okay, now we have the number. Now we have to convert the number into a string. So let's say the string num equals to, we are going to use an inbuilt function to convert it into a string, and the inbuilt function will require a header called string, right? This is a string header, and with that header we can use this function called toString. Okay. Now this function takes in either an integer or a double or anything, and then it outputs a string as its it returns a string. So let's give n as the input, and it will return the number in as a string. Okay, let's just check it quickly. uh, let's just output num, let's say 1. Let's say we have 5 6 7. We should get the same thing. We should get 5 6 7 here. Yeah, that's what we got. Okay, so this is working. Now we just have to see if the reverse of the string is equal to the right direction, right? So for that we can reverse the string and do it, or we could just access the string in the reverse order, right? So let's do the accessing the string in the reverse order, because this technique can also be used on the reminder method. When we get each digit out of the number, we can store it in an array and then use this method to find out if it is a palindrome or not, right? So it will cover both the possibilities. So I'll use this method. So we need a for loop for that, and it will start from, okay, we need two pointers actually. So let's say we have two pointers, j1 and j2, and j1 will be 0 and j2 is going to be, well, it should be the length of the string. Okay, so let's initialize j2. j2 is equals to get the length of the string, we can use num dot size. Okay, this is a method in the string. String is a a new data type in C++. This is one of the additions over C. Like in C we don't have native string type. In C++ we do have a string type. So this string type has this method inbuilt called size. So we can use that. Okay, we'll get the size and we have to decrement it. So we are not going to start from the end, right? Because it is zero based indexing. We have to start 1 minus the size, like size minus the 1. Okay. Okay, so we have both the pointers pointing to the right direction now. Now we need to take care of, okay, we just need to run a loop while j1 is less than j2. Okay, because we don't want them to cross over each other. J1 will go till the middle and j2 will also go till the middle, and once they are at the midpoint, if it is an odd numbered, like the length is odd, then okay, let me take an example. Let's say the number is 1 to 3. Now the size is 3, right? So first j1 will be here and j2 will be here, right? After the first iteration, j1 will be here and j2 will also be here. Okay, so if this and this are equal, this could be anything and it will still be a palindrome, right? So here it is not a palindrome, and if this was 3, it's a palindrome. This could be 2 or this could be 5, it doesn't matter, right? Because this is odd length. If it is an even length, then it would matter, right? Let's say this is the number. Now first j1 is here and j2 is here. Now we increment this by 1 and we decrement this by 1. Because we see that these are equal, we increment this and decrement this pointer. Then this will point to this, and j1 will be pointing to this and j2 will be pointing to this. These two are not equal, so we output loses, right? So if this was 5, then j1 and j2 will be equal, same. So what we'll be getting is that, well, we'll get wins because it is a palindrome, right? Well, we don't get it right away. j1 will again increment to this position and j2 will decrement to this position. So now they have crossed each other, right? That's when this condition breaks, and that's when we can output if it is a win or a loss. Okay, so now while this, at the end we have to j1 plus plus, we have to increment the j and j2 minus minus, right? Because j2 is starting from the end. Now inside this we have to get two characters. Character a equals to num of j1, and let's do it here itself, and b equals to num of j2. Well, actually we don't need to initialize it in variables, but I'm doing it so that you can understand easily. Now we just need to check if a equals to b, right? If they are both equal, then we can continue. If they are not, if a is not equal to b, then let's define another string called answer, and let's initialize it as loses, right? This is what they put here. Wait a second, let me just check if loses is for if it is not a palindrome. For each input, output wins if the number is a palindrome, right? So if they are not equal, it will mean that it is not a palindrome. Then we output answer as loses, right? So first it will be wins. The default will be that it is a palindrome, and if we encounter that it is not a palindrome, then we change it to losses, and then we break this loop. We break out of this loop. Okay, at the end we just output answer, and then we format the output by putting an inline. Okay, now let's check if this is working. There could be a small hiccup here, but let me see if it is actually a problem, and then we'll say okay, we got the correct output here. Let me submit this and see if it works. I can identify one edge case which could be problematic, but that I guess that edge case was not in the test cases. I'll just tell it how. I'll just tell it, however, so that you guys can be aware of what could be a problem. Let's say we have a number like 0, 1, 2. Okay, sorry. We have a number like 2, 1, 0. Okay, in this case, or rather, I should say, okay. Yeah, this should not be a problem because those kind of test cases don't exist. Now let's talk about the time and space complexity of this. The space complexity will be order of n, or I should say order of d, where d is equals to length of the string, right? Or length of the number, how many digits are in the number. Like in this case, the space will be 3 units, and this will also be 3 units, this will also be 3 units. But if the number was like 5-digit number, let's say 512548, then the space required will be this much, right? So this is not a constant space, it is dependent on the input, but it is still very less, so we could just say it's order of n. Okay, and then we have another thing, which is that time complexity will be order of d by 2, which is also equal to order of d, right? So space complexity and time complexity are both the same, and this is because we are learning 2 pointers, one from the start of the array and one from the end of the array, right? So at most we'll go till the middle of the array. So for that reason, it is not constant, and it is dependent on the size, or I should rather say that number of digits in the input. Okay, so that's the space and time complexity. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Subscribe and like and comment.